Because I'll load everything in my car. My daughter's out. It doesn't matter. And then I'll just that's why I wanted to like to fit in that way so that because I know I don't know. I think she is. She has to be. Yeah, I talked to her yesterday. But she doesn't. For everyone else.
So you're
it's great. It's so good. I'm so happy. Because it was so cheap. But it wasn't.
Are you okay with the way we turned the island?
I like it a lot.
Yeah. No one's back is too.
when we were having dinner, everybody can see the lake.
Yeah, you're
Close
right.
down in your back.
I never even thought about that. But it took down the other way. It took us a whole day. Right?
Did it go?
It was
They always go right.
Never been right on the
Well,
way.
mine never even bounced, they just go straight down.
yeah, that's what it did. They came
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they go, I texted you about it. The one arm on the older one.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
One is caught in, but I never found one. I thought if you had a bag of extra ones.
Yeah, it came up.
And the horse was
Yeah, she's getting better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, it's on, sir. We'll look at the law.
Good evening. Could be seated, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you all for coming to remember and celebrate the life of Sandra Diane White. First of all, Terry would like to say a prayer, so I'll give her a prayer to do that. Terry?
Dear Father in heaven, we are so thankful this day to be gathered together to honor the life of Sandra Diane White. We are so thankful for the memories we have. We are thankful for the love and laughter that she shared with all. We ask a special blessing on the family and friends, that they will feel comfort, that they will cherish the memories that they have, and know that Sandra's in a better place at this time. We ask thee that thou would be with the speakers this day. And once again, we are so thankful for the blessings in our life and the blessing of knowing Sandra and having her as part of our life. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, and a reminder please, to your cell phones, if you haven't turned those off. Okay. So we all have our special memories of Sandra, and we have a couple of her friends that would like to say a few words about her and her life and their experiences with her. First of all, we're going to hear from Tammy Butler, a friend of hers for 45 years. And they're like 3 at the time.
That was a sweet introduction, thank you. I had to make notes because I'm very forgetful. And some of these are just so special. So again, my name's Tammy. So I am humbled and extremely honored to be able to share this with you. So I met Sandy about 45 years ago when she was an accountant at the firm that I worked for. So I thought I'd just start off sharing a poem because it means a lot to me. But I wrote it after my first experience sleeping over at Sandy's. It was just the start of understanding how bright she really was. I mean, how many people have angels surrounding them? So that's what the poem's all about. So I must have slept in the house of an angel. For an enchanted sleep I had, I was lulled to sleep by sweet music, forming sheets across my bed. I was given a tour of heaven, floating amidst the breast of love, and rocked gently till a bird's song drifted slowly from above. An angel took my hand last night and filled my heart with wonder. What a lovely gift to share with me when all I asked last night was slumber. So there's so many things I can share about Sandy, but the theme keeps coming back to that infectious, joyful spirit and the laughter of hers. And so the way she found and shared the joy of her family and friends. For example, she'd come into the office with pictures to share of her niece. She was always so excited and so proud. And she was always sharing the joy she felt from everybody that was around her. Always something wonderful, feeding her soul. So there's too many joyous moments to share about Sandy, so I had to dig really deep to keep this short and sweet, or we'd be here for hours talking about the beauty and joy that Sandy shared with everyone she met. Anyone who met Sandy quickly learned that it was impossible to spend time with her without enjoying a gut-busting laugh at some point in the conversation. And my mother was like that. Spontaneous, contagious, uncontrollable laughter. Putting those two together caused many hilarious episodes as they fed off each other's sense of humor. If you can imagine in a public place like a restaurant, my mom would tell a joke, that would get Sandy spitting out her coffee, and that would get me laughing really hard, and then my daughter was off. So everyone in the restaurant would be staring at us. So eventually we'd all quiet down, and then my mother would do one of her things and look at Sandy and cross her eyes, and then bam, they were off again. I could tell you so many stories about her laughter. That's how I remember Sandy. She loved to share positive stories about all the people she held close to her heart, including her love, Doug. She moved out northwest. And Nicholas, and all the extended family and friends that she met while she was out there, I remember suggesting that she consider getting a computer. And for all you young people there, we didn't have personal computers. I mean, it was a really foreign thing. So Sandy said, we have the telephone, and that's what it was made for. So she really wasn't into the computers. So I really had to control my laughter when she moved back, because there she was. She pulled out her phone or an iPad, whatever you call the bigger ones, every time she stayed over for a visit. So she wasn't so annoyed at the computer thing anymore. There were always pictures of everyone that filled her with joy. Probably half of this room. I've seen pictures of you at some point. Yeah, just sharing her stories and what they meant to her. I remember her sitting at my table like an expected grandmother who finally got the news about Nicholas and a new baby. It was picture time again. There's also the time she shared a video. Yes, a computer video, shocked the heck out of me. And there was Luke bebopping or something, wrong name, I'm not sure, but it was awesome. And I actually had to pull my jaw off the ground because you were so good. She was also one of the most generous people I knew. So it's not just about her laughter, but she's such a generous soul. She always wanted to help someone, to be there for friends and family when they were hurting or in need. And I'll give you an example with a couple of my own experiences. Okay, so now this will make me smile so I can stop choking. I'll give you an example. I was having car trouble and I couldn't go down to visit her. So guess what she tried to do? She insisted that she was getting a new car and she wanted to give me her old car. Oh God, seriously, who does that? Of course I refused to accept the gift and I had to listen to her scolding and letting me know how annoyed she was that I wouldn't take the car. Then one day I had to tell her that my pull-out couch, because she spent a lot of time visiting me, my pull-out couch was broken. So she'd have to just make do with the couch the way it was. And of course, a day or two later, I got a phone call. All of a sudden, Sandy didn't like her couch anymore. She wanted me to take it. So again, I had to refuse. And she was annoyed, and she scolded me for not accepting. Oh God, she was beautiful. So anyway, seriously, stop. Again, who does that? Sandy does that. She was so generous. So speaking of sleepovers, I still believe that she actually came to visit my kitty more than me. She loved her handsome kitty boy. She always came with a little gift for him and would play what we call the sheep game as she made her bed. And I'd wake up to the two of them snuggled close in the bed. She just got so much joy out of my kitty. So I think I'm blessed that we became so close because we were also opposites in so many ways. I'm sort of a wash and wear tomboy, and Sandy was meticulous about her appearance, from her clothes to her makeup to her hair. I'd go portaging in the wilderness, and Sandy would say, hotel. So we were just so different, but I think that's also what made us love each other so much. Okay, so I've got to share this one. There was one phone call in the middle of COVID, and she was absolutely beside herself. She couldn't stand it any longer. She had to get her hair done. And it was just so important for Sandy. And when I laughed, she wasn't impressed. After all, not everyone can just run their fingers through the hair and let the curls dry as they want. So I'm going to miss her laughter, her stories, her honest and generous spirit. But I'm also relieved that her last few years of pain and illness are over. I'm so grateful that she was surrounded by those that loved her and cared for her at home. I know that she's up there with her spirit family and friends, and that she, my mom, and her handsome kitty boy are continuing to fill the heavens with their joyous laughter. Sandy leaves behind not only a gift of laughter, but a legacy of kindness, compassion, and generosity. I think she would want us to remember that in the end, the things we think are important may turn out to be not important at all. It's the people that we care for and the lives we touched in whatever small way that end up being the things that are truly important. She will always be a part of me, and I will be eternally grateful to the universe for placing her on my path. So for Sandy, it breaks my heart to lose you as you beat me to the light. Let's meet in the place of rainbows and share stories of your flight. Thank you.
Thank you for those wonderful memories. I don't think it was that she was so not the couch thing. I think she wanted to give you her couch
Yes, she did.
so she could get a better night's sleep.
Oh my God, so that's why she was so annoyed.
I have on my little program here, Nick is doing a Zoom. Did that come through? Is that happening? It is? Okay, what are you doing in Zoom? Oh. Okay, turn on the loop.
You ready, Nick? Okay. Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, right on. Oh, I'm glad this all worked out here. That's awesome. Thank you so much for, giving me, just giving me an opportunity to talk to you. I just had a few stories I wanted to share, just highlighting Sandy's Sandy's generosity, her sense of humor, and also her creativity when it comes to parenting. I've got as most teenage boys, when I was growing up, it was hard for her and my dad to convince me to do the dishes on a regular basis. And this one time I come home from school and Sandy had been asking me for a few days, can you do the dishes? Can you do the dishes after school, before school? And I kept putting it off. And so one day I come in from school there, and in my room I had a bunk bed, and the top I slept on and the bottom was a futon couch. And so I sit there and study and play my guitar, pretty upset, but looking back I thought, well, that's just showing, Sandy's sense of humor, and she always had a way to kind of light a fire under my butt, to kind of get me moving and stuff when I was being lazy and stuff. And there was another time I remember where just in her love and her generosity, she wanted to take me out shopping for new shoes, because all my shoes had holes in them and I'd worn them out, and I was being a bit of a brat at the time and kept saying, no, my shoes are fine, and so anyways, I'm getting up one day for school, and we lived about a block and a half from school, so I was, when I heard the bell go off from the house, if I ran, I could hard time about these gum boots, and then, but sure enough, I get home from school, and Sandy's standing there with her keys saying, "Hey, you want to go shoe shopping?" I said, "Yes, okay, that'd be great, thanks." But, but yeah, every year, at the end of August, around this time, actually, she'd always take me shopping for new clothes for school, and just so generous, and then another story I wanted to share was more recent. My wife, whose name is also Sandra, her and I were visiting in Ontario. There, we were visiting my dad and aunts and uncles and cousins, and we made special plans to meet with Sandy as well. And so the three of us, we were staying in Ottawa for a few nights, and then the three of us were touring around and going for dinners and shopping and just having time, and just anytime we didn't have a fork in our mouths, we were just roaring with laughter with Sandy, and she was just so much fun. And one thing that really struck me is we went to one night to drop her off at her hotel, and I found it interesting that the hotel she chose was normally she likes to do things big, but she chose one that was really modest and not too pricey and everything like that. And I said, how come I'm surprised you're staying here. I thought you would have been at one of the fancy ones and stuff. And so the reason she was there is because she wanted to save some money on her accommodation so that she could spend more money on Sandra and I.
Oh.
And so she was just so generous, such a loving person. And in addition to that, this week here I've been spending a lot of time in prayer, just about different things to talk about today. And I don't remember where. I thought this was out of the Bible, but for the life of me, I couldn't find the verse. But I remember hearing that when we first get to heaven, that it's like waking up from a dream. And I think back to bad dreams I've had, and if you think back to some that you've had, you're running from something, or you're scared and frightened, or there's some sort of terrible situation, and the moment you wake up, all that fear, all that pain, all that suffering just dissolves away, and you're in your warm, comfortable bed, and you're safe, and everything's good. And so I had that thought coming to me, and also the verse here, John 14, verses 2 to 3, it says, "My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." And so I was taking these two thoughts that have been on my heart this week, and when I put the two together, I can just imagine, Thursday night last week, Sandy going to bed and just in so much pain and having trouble sleeping, having trouble talking, and just all the side effects from the medication, and just all the struggles and suffering she was going through. And I just imagine her waking up in one of the many rooms in the mansion in heaven, and just being free of pain, free of all that struggle, and just waking up dancing again, and you just imagine her suddenly realizing where she is, and just running out the door down the hall, and being greeted by Jesus with a warm embrace, and by her mom and dad and her loved ones. And I just imagine her just having so much fun up there with everyone, and just looking forward to the day where God calls each of us home. And I can just imagine her standing outside our doors, waiting
We love you.
Bye, Nick.
Love you guys. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you, Nick. And thank Luke for getting that technology all together for us.
Sandy would be proud.
Yeah. We have a video presentation. It's on next on my list. Is someone, I guess we're gonna uncover the mystery over here. So we'll just sit back a little bit and enjoy this.
We used to laugh at that. Call him later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we back on? I think we missed some of the music. If you're quiet, you may have heard it. Bring me Sandra.
Reception for you with the slideshow again. We'll try to get that right for you. Sorry, folks.
Okay. Da-da-da-da. Give me sunshine. I need some volume. Okay, well, we'll do it without the microphone, I guess.
It's on.
It's on.
Is it on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can't hear myself. So,
That may be a good thing.
It's not on. No. It's not on.
oh, it's not on, no.
No.
So we'll do it without the mic. So there's some nice pictures there that I'm sure some of us remember and others of us don't. It'd be nice that if we could have a comment on each picture, but we'll probably be here for a couple of days if everybody commented on each picture. But she certainly liked to have fun, love people. Looking at the videos there, I remember she went on a couple of trips with my wife, Terry, to the Caribbean, and she had a great time there. And especially every day she watched her golf. She enjoyed golf. To me, if you videotape golf and play it backwards, it's the same. So, but she liked her golf. Now Richard Bolton, a friend of hers, is going to give us some more insight on Sandra's life and some of the happenings that she brought to everybody. Can we get the volume on for Richard? Unless you're a loud talker. Richard.
I think I'm
You're
loud
okay?
enough. Good morning.
Good morning.
Her infectious laughter would fill the room. Her sense of humor was always on. Sure.
Battery.
She was the life of the party. Her heart was filled with love and laughter. She had a no-nonsense way of looking at life. She didn't take any crap. And she would dish it out if she wanted to. She was a colleague, a friend, a treasured member of our family. These are just a few of the things that myself and many of our family members thought of Sandy. My name's Richard Bolton, and I'm here representing on behalf of the Bolton family, the Dignan family, and the Metz family to memorialize our dear friend, Sandra. To give you a sense of how long I've known Sandy, she was the very first person to hold me just after my mom when I was born. So I alone have known Sandy my entire life.
Oh, wow.
Sandy worked for my dad in the accounting firm, Richard W. Bolton Chartered Accountants, for many years. She started working for my dad when she was 17 years old. She was a valued employee of my dad's firm, and she was always there for my dad through thick and thin with the business. She was always the hit of the party, especially at the office parties. As you know, Sandy loved to drink her wine, and her laughter only became more infectious with every glass. I worked for my dad for several years, and Sandy and I always enjoyed heading out to lunch and having a few laughs. At clients, she was always made the environment so much fun. Hey, it's accounting, so you gotta have some fun, right? Nobody likes an audit. She continued to work for my sister Deborah as part of Bolton and Dignan for many, many years, and I always enjoyed coming into the office and visiting with her. She always brightened your day. In a story from my adolescence in relation to Sandy, I remember we were at the family cottage one year. Sandy had come up with us. At the time, I had been prescribed contact lenses for the first time. I decided to bring them to the cottage and try them. Back then, the contact lenses were a lot more rigid, not as flexible as they are today. More or less hard pieces of plastic. It didn't come natural to me, so I wasn't sure what to do. Sandy decided she was gonna help me, and she was determined she was gonna help me get these in my eye. So as I sat at the table, and Sandy stood behind me, she grabbed and pried my top eyelid and my bottom eyelid like a contortionist, and I feverishly tried to jam these plastic pieces in my eye, which kept popping out. For 45 minutes we tried. What initially created a lot of laughter for us ended up being a lot of frustration. When I finally got these contact lenses in my eye, we were both exhausted. Sandy collapsed into a chair. I looked at her and said, with bloody eyes and tears streaming down my face, and I said to her, that wasn't so bad, right? And Sandy, in her way, she flung an obscenity at me, a crackling laugh, and then said, let's never do that again. As you know, and it was mentioned before, Sandy was an avid golfer, and I remember golfing with Sandy at the Bolton Golf and Country Club. Not actually our golf club, but in Bolton. Whenever I visited Sandy in recent years, she always had golf on the TV. She was a real passionate for golf, and I love that because I love golf as well. I just don't like watching it on TV. So, many of us know that Sandy has a dance background. And I truly hope I'm not the only one in the room today that got suckered into Sandy's Zumba phase of the mid-2000s. Well, if you didn't know, Sandy took on Zumba with a passion. I vividly remember getting a call from Sandy once asking for a favor. Go ahead.
Is Sandy any better with technology than I am?
That's better. So I remember her calling me and asking me for a favor. It's bring a partner night to Zumba. And would I be willing to be her partner? She said, please. So I reluctantly agreed, but first I needed to Google exactly what Zumba was. And the first thing that pops up was an explanation of Zumba. It's an exercise that combines shaking your butt, rolling your hips, and booty dropping to the floor in front of other people. I immediately called Sandy back and said, hell no. To which she pleaded and I reluctantly agreed because it's Sandy. Trust me, it was what I expected in the class. A bunch of geriatrics in leotards, Zumba-ing, whatever they call them. When I turned to Sandy after the class, I flung an obscenity at her. I laughed and said, let's never do that. Over the years, I've always been Sandy's technical support team. She always calls me up if she wants to buy a computer or any printer or anything like that. We always took trips to Best Buy to get new computers or printers. I was never, I always enjoyed it. We always went back to her place, set it up, and then we'd go out for a few beers and some wings. And of course, she insisted on buying, which I thought was great payment for technical services, of course. Sandy was always considered a great part of our family. She was always attending birthdays, pool parties, Mother's Day celebrations, and trips to the cottage. She was always welcome at Christmas and Thanksgiving as well. Over the years, Sandy would have dinner together and get caught up between us and share a few laughs and a few beers. My spouse Carol and I always recount the fun nights we had with her at going out for sushi dinner. With Sandy recanting, and Carol always recanted that Sandy was such a hoot to be around. In recent years, I think we all witnessed Sandy's health decline. As a friend, you feel the pain, you wish you could take it away. She was always seemed so frustrated with her condition. When a close friend is in pain, you're in pain. A few weeks ago, Carol and I, my sister Deborah, had a chance to see Sandy and say unknowingly our final goodbyes. She was frail and in discomfort, but she managed to laugh a bit as we spent some time with her, and I treasured that. Finally, I know Sandy is in heaven right now, cracking jokes with my dad. Like, old bookkeepers never die, they just lose their balance. Reminiscing over old accounting clients and just maybe even playing a final round of golf. Of course, if she's golfing with me, my dad, she's gonna have to listen to him cursing bad shots and throwing his golf clubs. I can just see her laughing at him now and him getting frustrated. Sandy, you are forever in our hearts and certainly forever in our memories.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Now we're gonna have a few words from her niece, Jennifer White.
Sorry, I didn't do paper, I was just in my phone.
You're young.
So, before I formally begin and introduce myself, I kind of wanted to go over why I'm standing here today. So, my dad asked me, would you mind saying a few words on my behalf for Sandra's celebration of life? And he's like, you know, you're way better at public speaking than I am. So, I know, Dad. It's just one of the few things that I'm better at than you are. And like all great dads and brothers, he just really wanted to give me some advice. He wanted to say, you know, I think you should start off by saying, hi, my name is Michael and I'm Sandra's brother. And I'm like, but wait, Dad, that's like not the case. It's not exactly true. He's like, right. And I said, so do you want me to like pretend that I'm you because I'm talking on your behalf? Kind of like when I go to the store and use your credit card, right? So I'm Jennifer. Many call me Jen, and that's one N if you're taking notes. I am Sandra's niece, Michael's daughter. That was supposed to be in the opposite order, but that's fine. I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today and for sharing your stories about Sandra and the great life that she lived. If she were here today, she'd be probably wearing something leopard print or really bright and colorful, and she'd have that little bit of pink in the front of her hair like we saw on the slideshow. Most importantly, I'd like to thank Terry, Dan, Luke, and Julie. From being there, taking her to the emergency department, picking her up in the middle of the night, from providing her with 24/7 around-the-clock care, to being there in her final days. We really appreciate you. And also to the rest of the Stapleton family that was there for Sandra. From my family to yours, I just want to say we are truly thankful for how you cared for Sandra in her final days. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, with one N. Well, thank you all again for coming. We're not quite finished because there is a reception downstairs. So we'll get to meet each other and have a bit of conversation. And then after that, those who are available, we're going to Glen Oak Cemetery. That's at 31649 9th Line in Oakville. I have to go to work, so once you're there at the 9th Line, Luke Stapleton will give a reading, and there will be a musical number by Jackson Freeman. So that's how we'll go down and have a little bit of a chit-chat and a little bit of food at the reception downstairs. Thank you for coming to this portion.
Yeah, I volunteer.